What's up, fight fans? Thank you once again for coming through, much appreciated. Remember, please hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. If you've come back to watch another video, yes, repeat. Thank you very, very much. Alright, pardon me. Let's talk, arguably, I was going to say the biggest fight of the year. I don't know if it is. I don't know. I think it is. I think it has me as intrigued as GGG versus Canelo Alvarez, and as the rematch between Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev. So it's definitely my top three in terms of most anticipated fights of the year, without a doubt. And I think it could, and there's still a big could here, it could be one of the best fights we've probably ever seen. And that's between Vasyl Lomachenko, with a record of, was it 9-1, which is crazy, and Guillermo Rigondeaux with a record of 17-0 for 17 fights, I think 11 knockouts, something along those lines. Arguably two of the best at what they do that I have ever seen, and I'm talking ever. You know, it's funny, there's this old adage that you don't play boxing, right? Everyone has seen people post all the time pictures of boxers getting really fucked up and bruises, and like, you play basketball, you play football, you don't play boxing. Vasyl Lomachenko kind of does play boxing. He kind of does play boxing. He treats boxing sometimes like a game. And look, does he get touched a few times? Yeah, absolutely. He's lost. He lost to Salido in his second fight. So he does get touched. He does have a loss on the record. But nonetheless, this guy makes boxing look very, very simple. Very simple. He reminds me, I know he's called The Matrix, and I put a post out on my Twitter page ages ago. That moment in The Matrix, number one, this is, when Neo realizes that he actually has all these powers. They shoot guns at him, he sees the bullets coming, he stops the bullets, he looks at the bullets like, this bullet, then the guy comes up to him and he's kind of just like, and then he kind of just decides, I know exactly what you're going to do. That's what Vasyl Lomachenko kind of does. He kind of fucks about in boxing. And so far, against decent opposition, I mean, look, let's be honest, Nicholas Waters, I mean, we're talking decent opposition here, he's made them look pretty amateurish. Let's be honest, he's made good guys look like shit. That's what he's done. That's what he's been able to do. Call it hype, call it whatever you want to call it. That's what he's been able to do. I actually remember an interview with George Groves. This must be about 5 years ago. This is how far back we're going. George Groves had an interview, and there was talk about, it could have been about Gennady Golovkin and other fighters, and it was like who could be the pound for pound guy if Pacquiao and Mayweather kind of disappear, blah blah blah. And he said, oh, Vasyl Lomachenko. I'm going to try and find the clip. He said it that easy. Oh, Vasyl Lomachenko. And then one was like, I kid you not, it made me just go brrr on my internet, and I started watching this guy's amateur fights. This guy, people, is 495-1, and that one defeat he's avenged 3 or 4 times. That's just ridiculous. That is just ridiculous. I understand that record. 400, and was it 4 or 3? Whatever it is anyway. He's lost once. He's lost once as an amateur. It's just, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. We're talking double Olympic champion, numerous world titles, numerous European titles. He's just a scary opposition. It really is. It's scary opposition. And for years, we've always been saying, okay, how would it fare out between him and Rigondeaux? And I think it's fair to say, maybe if that question was asked 3 years ago, I think a lot of people would have said, especially the fights at 126, Rigondeaux, right? Rigondeaux's is fast. He's probably more powerful, probably. And again, he has that fantastic amateur pedigree, so he can box. I don't think we've seen slippage in Rigondeaux. Apologies, car outside. Sorry, not car. Car. I don't think we've seen slippage in Rigondeaux, but the fact is, Rigondeaux's getting on a bit. The fact that that's just father nature. Rigondeaux's getting on a bit, and I think Lomachenko's probably coming into his prime, and I think Rigondeaux might have just left that prime. And it's a shame, because look, Rigondeaux, for me, I think, a lot of people talk about avoided fighters. I think Rigondeaux could have been one of the most, if not the most avoided fighter I've ever known. Ever. I mean, nobody from 122 to 126 to 130 was calling this guy out. Nobody. Everyone held belts out, and Frampton, Quigg, fucking Santa Cruz, Abner Mars, all of them in and around that weight class were dodging him. All of them, right? He's had to jump up 2 weight classes to get a meaningful fight right now. And that's a bitch. And it's unfair. But anyway, back to Rigondeaux. I think he's slipping just from his lofty 10 out of 10 rating. He's probably a 9.5 right now. But the fact he has to jump up 2 weight classes to fight Vasyl Lomachenko puts him at about an 8 for me. But look, it's a fantastic fight. It's one I'm actually flying out to watch. I had to be ringside to get this one. What I will say, and what is a big shame, is that the casual fans ain't going to know about this fight. The casual fans are not going to know about this fight at all. Just the way it is, unfortunately. Neither guy speaks great English. Lomachenko's trying. Rigondeaux doesn't really speak English. And it's probably got the worst promoter that you can have right now in terms of promoting it, and that's Bob Arum. Right? Right now, you need Dana White or Eddie Hearn to promote this fight. Eddie Hearn would make you feel like this is the #1 versus the #2, and so would Dana White. They would make you feel like this is the greatest fight in the history of boxing. You know, they would show their amateur records everywhere. You'll be talking about it. People would ask you on the street randomly, who are these guys? They would tune in because they've heard about these guys. Right now, only the hardcore boxing people care about it, and that's a big, big, big shame. And it's a big shame, and that's the problem with boxing right now. The promoters are a bit stale. They don't know how to promote, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why Eddie Hearn has gone over to America thinking he can do something, because, you know, half the boxers out there do you know that half the boxers in America, especially the top boxers, aren't on contracts with promoters. They're just kind of doing it themselves. Errol Spence is the one that springs to mind. They're kind of doing it themselves because their promoters are shit. But yeah, it's a big shame, and it almost reminded me a bit of when Kovalev fought Ward the first and the second time. The numbers just weren't great, and you're arguably talking about the #1 pound for pound versus #3. Right now, you're probably talking about the #2 or 3 pound for pound versus #4 or 5. Do you know what I mean? And it's a phenomenal fight, a phenomenal matchup. People have been talking about this for years. It finally goes down December the 9th, Madison Square Garden, and nobody is going to talk about it. It will get that in terms of paper inch columns. There was a fight at Madison Square Garden the other day, you know, and it's just a shame. But that's boxing right now, right? If you can't talk trash, if you don't look flashy, if you don't speak English, I guess, no one ain't going to know. And right now, this is a good example. Vasyl Lomachenko, Guillermo Rigondeaux is an awesome fight. Every single amateur in the world should be watching it. Every single amateur in the world. Every person that likes boxing, knows about boxing, wants to know about boxing, watches boxing, should be watching it. I will be anyway. Leave your comments below. Peace.